So every now and then the CIA and the NSA will put out these puzzles, GCHQ as well, and this just happened to be one that I saw a couple days late, but here it is, and it's a fairly easy one. It's obviously some numbers in here, and then they give you a hint. They give you four letters that correspond to numbers. So I've saved the picture, and I've also written down the numbers here so that you'll be able to get a good idea of what's going on. Um, but we're going to start in on figuring out what's what. So they gave us Y, U, C, and G. So Y is 1, so we're going to go find all the 1s. We're going to fill them in with a Y. Then we're going to go find all of the U's and fill those in. Okay. We'll find all of the C's. We'll fill those in. All right. And then last one that they gave us was G. So all the G's. So, I mean, it's a lot like Wheel of Fortune, I guess. But you look and you see, can you make any words out of this? Well, not necessarily. So then the next thing that you look for are the smallest, shortest words possible so that we can guess at some letters. And you can see 13 is a single word. And the only two things, assuming this message is in English, that it can be or is I or A. So it's got to be one of those two. Um, and you can look around real quick and see if 13 occurs anywhere else in a short word, because you can assume it's either an I or an A, and there isn't many short words. Also, again, that's going to start with either of those, either in, if, it, or an, at. You get the idea. So when we look around for 13s, we see a three-letter word down here with a 13. Where else do we get some 13s? We have another 13 here at the end of a word. Not many words end with an I, but some words obviously end with an A. Get another 13 here after a C. I'll think I before E except after C. It sounded like A in a neighborly way. So is there any word here that could make this make sense with an I? Possibly. Is there any word that could make it make sense with an A? Yeah, definitely also. So like I said, we're going to kind of do what's called cribbing, and we're going to look for words that we can guess or that we're pretty sure that occur. And again, 13, we're going to just assume that 13 is A. So I'm going to fill in all the A's. That's our assumption. And then looking again, we have a three-letter word here, and we have that same three-letter word here. So these two words are the same word. They start with A. There's, again, only a few three-letter words that start with A, and being the most common of them. Again, others, but that's the one that I'm generally looking for. So then we look at these last two letters, 6 and 15. So we're assuming that that number 6 is N and 15 is D. So because ND is a common ending for words in English, so we're going to go look for other 6 and 15s. And you find one right here. It doesn't have a 13 or an A in the beginning, but it's a short word. So we assume that this is also N and D. And of course, we have our A, our single word here. So assuming again that 6 and 15 are N and D, let's fill it in. So let's put in our N's, and then let's also put in our D's and see what else this gives us. So now we can start really guessing at words and get a much better idea. So when I talked about 13 either being A or I, it would make more sense now as you're looking that A must be 13 and I must be something else. So something common, again, we look for cribs, things like ING is common. So you have du space ng. To me, this is going to be the word during, and this is going to be an I right here. So then we got to look for more nines that would indicate I's. We get another 9 that would be an I possibly. Is there anything that's maybe? And then we have a short one right here. We have 9 and 23. So again, if our assumption is 9 is an I, that makes this word either in, it, if. Get the idea. So we can take a pretty good guess that 13, or I'm sorry, that 9 is going to be I. So when we fill that in, we get some more stuff. Okay. And then again, looking at everything, can we immediately guess any words yet? Yeah, I think so. Obviously, this has to be the word during. So we're going to take this 4 and we're going to put our R's in there. So anything that's a 4, and we got some more that'll fill in. Okay. And then we look again. Do we got anything more? We have a 3-letter word that ends with AR. Again, that should be only a few different things. What else? Something else that you can keep in mind are letters that appear together. So we got 19 and 19 here. And then we have 22 and 22 together down here. In English, there's only certain words that are going to have double consonants in a row or double vowels. So those can only be a certain set of letters. It can be E's, O's. It can be T, L, S. Again, not P to some extent. Again, just knowing those things, you can automatically narrow down what some of the stuff could be. So we have, oh, this, never mind, that's a longer word than I was thinking. 23, 17, 11, another short word, 3-letter word, and then that 3-letter word has to share with what this 2-letter word has, because this is an I and a 23. So again, we don't know. We can assume it's either a T, an N. Well, it can't be an N, so we have to assume that it's a T. They didn't put proper punctuation in, so it's definitely not an M for the word I'm, because they put a comma over here next to the 20. So that tells me that they would have properly punctuated if it was a contraction. What else can we glean? We can look and see what the most common number that appears is, and it looks like it's probably 11. I mean, we see a lot of 11s in here, and obviously the most common letter in English words would be E, so we can take a pretty good guess that that's going to be E. So we fill that in, and what else do we get now? Okay, now you can again make some pretty good guesses at some things. For instance, GER space AN space. Well, I'm pretty sure that this is Germans, and again, that would lead me to believe this 22 is an S. And again, when we look down and we see 22, 22, we know that one of these double word or double letters could be an S. S is one of the most common letters on the end of a word because it's pluralizing. So again, here's a 22 at the end of a word. If 22 is S, that would make this word send, which again would make sense. So I'm fairly confident that 22 would be S. So we can even, we can fill that in. And then again, if that's S, then that means 7 has to be M. So we can fill in the, fill in the M's. And then obviously the next one that I look at, if we're talking about Germans and during, and I see a 24 nothing R nothing D, there's only a certain amount of things that can be R space D, and that would lead me to believe that this is like an L on 19, and this is the word world, because that would make this word war. So W and a W, world war, which then you come to this three-letter word, and we go back to the theory of is 23T. That would probably make this word TWO, because again, if 20 is O, that means WO, 20O. That would make the most sense. So we'll fill those in, saying that 23 is T, because again, that would make this word it. And then that would make this secretly, is my assumption. So again, we'll fill in the T. And the 24 is a W, so we'll fill that one in as well. Cool, cool. 20, we figure, is going to be an O. So during world, 19 is probably an L, because again, words that end with Y usually end with LY, and we have a Y in a 19, we have another Y in a 19. Another word that we know, this word right here is obviously could, so again, 19 would have to be L. Bada bing, bada boom. Are we missing anything yet? We only got a few letters left to fill in, so it should be pretty simple now. During World War II, T space E, this is obviously the THE, so all the 17s, we're going to put an H in there. The Germans used a CI space HER, this is obviously cipher, so we'll fill in any P. Used a cipher machine called the Enigma, period. Again, going back to the proper punctuation. It could send and receive messages. So anything that's UI, you should have a pretty good indication that the letter preceding it's going to be a Q, because QU is, what else could work there? Well, the only thing is Q, which means that 5 is Q and 18 has to be K to spell the word quickly. So we'll do Q, again, K, and, oh, I read through receive, didn't I? But there's no V there, so let's put a V in there. So again, this should be the entire message. Let's take the cribs out real quick, and we'll read it. During World War II, the Germans used a cipher machine called the Enigma. It could send and receive messages directly, or quickly, and secretly. Bada bing, bada boom. That's a really simple decode using some assumed cribs and a letter set that was given to you.